So, very warm welcome to everyone. Welcome back into the Sangha Live sessions for this week. I'll just take a moment or two as introduction, as I'm not entirely sure if we have the introduction from yesterday, but my name's Nathan. I'm a teacher primarily with Gaia House in Devon these days, and also one of the founders of Sangha Seva, Meditation in Action. And I'm really happy to be here guiding these explorations this week. Hopefully you've seen the introductory description title and have a sense of what's going on there with this. And I'll come back to that through the reflection. But just to kind of lay out the session a little bit, I'm going to give a reflection on that theme. The theme is Hasten slowly. And after that reflection, we'll take some time for a silent meditation together. And hopefully the things that I'm bringing up in the reflection will become more clear through the meditation. And then after that meditation, if there's any questions or reflections or things that you want to bring into the space, you're very, very welcome to do that. And we'll use the chat for that. And the chat is already looking delightfully active. And as always, really beautiful to see the warm, welcoming messages that come in there. Really, really precious, really supportive to hear your good mornings and hellos and a little bit about how it is where you are. And if you haven't already engaged in the chat in that way and you wish to, feel very much invited to. If you haven't done that before, or if you have done it many times before, really feel invited to settle in, show up, and we'll open up the session and we'll see where it is we're going to go today. So what we've been doing is playing a little bit with how we come into being. And that's based around the ideas that knowing that we participate. We participate in this experience. So yesterday we played a little bit more with, when we noticed there was a lot of intensity maybe, or agitation or restlessness, leaning back, letting out, and attuning to the fading of things. So that could be the letting out of the breath and also the letting out from experience through the realm of the sounds, if that was where we were working with our experience. And we also played with this kind of sense of leaning in, a sense of brightening, a letting in of the in-breath, staying with that primarily of the attention, and the arising of things out of all the dimensions of experience that we could attend to. Yeah. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, because I think those recordings are lost. Yeah. So basically we check in with what's here, and then we see in what way can I contribute, in what way can I participate. Yeah. Yesterday, we also began with reflecting on what is it I wish to see more of in the world, in your life. Just taking a moment just to reflect, really just taking that, can just be a moment. Immediately I remember, what is it I want to see more of? And feel into what it is. And this isn't just a interesting exploration, it's actually essential. When we understand how much it matters, the clarity of our intentions in our life, that's how we participate. It's what we participate from when we can recall it. Otherwise, it'll all be habitual stuff, right? And I want to speak a bit about that. But let's say my intention is peace. Peace. Peace on earth, peace coming through me, peace internally, peace externally, whatever. Yeah. All of that, maybe all of that is what I wish to see. Maybe it's a joy, an appreciation of life, spaciousness, giving room for experience, and noticing how giving room actually makes the experience easier to be with and allows me to actually tolerate more, be patient with things that aren't seemingly perfect. Those intentions of togetherness that we heard about, being in community. Also a community of body, heart, and mind. Can they come together, feel a sense of unity in their diversity? Yeah. all of those kind of things, they could be what we wish to see more of. And we could pick one. It could be a nice little mixture, a cocktail of intentionality. And that's important because experience is definitely dependent upon what we pay attention to. What we pay attention to. And are those things the kind of things that support a sense of peacefulness or lead us into a space where we can further support a sense of peacefulness or joy, togetherness, spaciousness, whatever it is for you? Yeah. But also, experience depends on how we bring that attention. And the how that we bring that attention then can really come in alignment with our deepest wishes and aspirations. Like, is this a peaceful way of bringing my attention? Or am I actually bringing my attention to something with some implicit irritation that's actually taking me away? Yeah. Am I paying attention to something with an implicit sense of, I need to grab onto this, keep it, store it up, save it for me? Oh, that's not leading that way. The teachings express, and I think our reflections on our life reveal it, that habitually we are reactive to life. We can see this in our lives, and sadly, we actually see it in our world. Yeah. And we see it escalating in certain circumstances where, wow, this is where it will go. And there's a responsibility, an extension of our ability to respond, to change what we pay attention to and how we pay attention to it in ways that support the well-being of all beings. Habitually, we are reactive. We believe what we think and we act upon it, unquestionably. And of course, why wouldn't we? Or why wouldn't anyone if we don't know any different? So we've been taking our time to taste the difference, and we'll do some more of that today. So yesterday, again, simply put, I used simply put a few times yesterday, just to give us a framework, we played with the energetics of attention and bodily fabrication. If I pay more attention to the in-breath, does that enliven, brighten, extend, elevate? Yes, it does. Okay, well, if it does, and you need that quality, that's a way to do it. If on the out-breath, we soften, we dissolve, we ease, we relax, we ground, and sometimes I need that, then I've got a way. When we say pay attention to the breath, pay attention to what in the breath? What bit of it? And that can be part of our more refined application of practice. Yeah. I'm going to pay attention more to the in-breath or the out-breath. Or what about the gaps in between? What do they do? You've got those bits of an experience to pay attention to. Yeah. None of this is actually, you need to do this for the rest of your life. This is a how to live a life. No. This is a way to practice, to get skilled at living a life that has more intentionality, that has more clarity, that has more alignment with our deepest wishes. Yeah. There's no simple answers, but a relatively simplified pattern language to understand that gives us access points. So, go here, do that, move that way, head in this direction. Yeah. What this could be called is the Dharma of dependencies. Yeah. What does stress depend on? It's one of the really key questions that these teachings ask us to reflect on. And understanding that, what if I withdraw from what is leading to this harmful experience? And when we're more stressed, we're not at our best. Yeah. So what if I withdraw from that activity and invest more in the wholesome? Yeah. This is wise effort, wise action. So that includes when we notice I'm contracted, moving into space. Yeah. When I notice that it's dullness, I bring it into brightness, clarity. But it doesn't stop there. And of course, it's also in that attitude, that flavor of attention, what we believe in, and that would really benefit to question that. Yeah. Because happiness doesn't come from reactivity. Reactivity is stressful. It feels tight. It feels agitated. What the Buddha talked about, when I pushed forward, I was whirled around. And we notice that a lot. That's reactivity. That's stirring it up. And that's not to say we just need to be calm. Just need to be calm. Maybe we do need to be really active. Sometimes we're too calm. Yeah, if we do nothing too soon, we actually get swamped or lost in the flow. Yeah, but actually by extracting ourselves from the unskillful gently with a wider lens, a clearer seeing, gently but immediately we start to contribute. We hasten slowly, move in that direction. So these are teachings of freedom, right? And that can mean, in simple terms, well-being and happiness that is more reliable and can last longer. That's what we're looking for here. Yeah. And we can actually see this helpful point just to make here. We sometimes in the practice, the metta practice, sometimes called kindness practice, goodwill practice, when we wish for another to be happy, what do we mean? We don't mean, may you be happy regardless. There's wisdom in that wish. We mean, can you be free from habitual and harmful reactivity? To have an open heart. That's what happiness feels like. To do wise and beneficial actions. That's what happiness expresses itself. Yeah? We don't wish regardless. We understand the principles at play. So it's head and heart together. Head and heart together, as one really great teacher would say. So what is it we tend to believe? What is it we take at apparent face value, but really would investigate seeing more deeply? And it's a principle called Vedana. Yeah. Because we believe that this thing really is pleasant or this thing really is hard to bear, we start to react against them in what only seems the most sensible way for our survival. I need to get the good. I need to push away the bad, so to say. Yeah. But good and bad, they don't actually exist that way. Experience depends on what we pay attention to, and there's a lot more dimensions to any experience than we at first seem to see when we're not locked in that believability. Oh, it's true. It really is an unpleasant experience. What bit of it's unpleasant? And start asking those questions. Get a more sensitive, refined view. And is it more pleasant by pushing it away? Yeah. This would be hard to bear. We start rejecting, trying to escape. Maybe that's the stress. That's what these teachings are saying. Is it actually our reactivity to the thing? It's certainly making the situation worse. It's certainly making the situation worse. It's certainly making us feel more contracted. It's certainly unpleasant to be reactive. So if that unpleasant thing were met in a different way, would it actually be unpleasant? Does the unpleasantness in here sit within that? Or is it only in our reactivity? We have to explore, we have to experiment to understand. Again, this isn't a way to live, this is a way to explore our experience. Sometimes it might be just the right thing to push something away. But if that's what we do to all of them, and we know that that escalates, what if we stop trying that out? Or if we see this will make me happy, and we start to contract around getting it, holding it, planning for more, and again we think, oh, I've shrunk. Rather than this kind of open palmed, appreciating what William Blake said, kiss the joy as it flies. It's difficult to kiss the joy as it flies if we're contracted around getting it, holding it, planning for more. Planning for more, we're not even in the present experience with the pleasant thing anymore. And the third kind of Vedana is actually just everything else, much else. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And it's treated like it doesn't. And that's a whole pathway of practice there. So, little overview. Intentions really matter. What is it you're here to do? What is it you want to see more of? What is it you want to align to? We understand, no blame, no shame, no one's outside of this. We're all reactive beings. It's how we got to be. It's how we got to be into these days, these times, this place. But maybe it's time to explore something else if we really want to be happy and we want other beings to be happy. If we want peace, joy, connection, kindness to radiate in our world. And so that's the invitation for the practice today. And let's take half an hour for a meditation in which I'll drop in some guidance. Yeah. But then if you just think for yourself, what's this quality you're gonna want to support? What's the posture that speaks to that? Is this one that really you got to stand up for some stuff or rest back? Or is it something in the dynamics, something in maybe a sitting posture allows, that we can lean a little forward, lean a little back, find our place in alignment? Whatever the posture, also the attitude is really going to matter. If the posture can support the attitude, that's great. If the body has other needs right now, we're still going to be able to make this work. So getting comfortable, settling in, and if it's possible, we'll pay attention to body sensations. That can be a really skillful way of meeting our nearest bit of nature, this bodily life that has its life of its own, but certainly an interwoven life with us, or with the sounds around if the body doesn't feel like a restful location for attention. And as before, let's just see if we can get to know just the arisings, just the in-breath for the next 3 breaths. Just the arisings in the sounds. If the mind also follows into the out-breath, or it perceives the continuation and dissolution of sounds, that's completely fine. So as long as we are ready for that next in-breath coming in to pick up the first sensitive, subtle emergencies of breath sensations. Let's do another 3 breaths, and then we'll take a little rest, and then in your own time, come back with another 3. And we'll do that for a few minutes. Getting lost, mind wandering, it really doesn't matter. What matters is how we meet that. Meet it with kindness, expressing those intentions. Soothing, calming down through the body. And let's have another meeting of the in-breath, or the arising of sound. And settling into the moment, noticing a little the impact of having just attended to the in-breath, enlivening, maybe nourishing. The in-breath really brings the life of the world into this being and starts to wake it up. Incline the mind more now to the out-breath, to the fading of things, to the softenings. Maybe it dissolves agitation, grounds the being, grounding earthiness of the body with the earthiness of the body of the earth. Seeing, do you want to catch it at the first glimmers of an out-breath, or the first beginnings of a fadings, all the way through to its disappearance for the next 3 in-breaths, out-breaths, sorry. If the mind is wandering around quite a lot, it can be really helpful. Just another 3. Then after that 3, maybe we do another 3. If we do 3 sets of 3, a little challenge like that can be enough, maybe, to bring us into brighter awareness. But it could be that we need to soften a little bit more. That tightness might be what's skidding the mind off into thoughts, distractions. A resting back can be helpful there. You can see for yourself if it feels beneficial to emphasize more the in-breath or more the out-breath. You can still do this, but we're going to add in a new ingredient, and it's going to be the flavor of welcoming. So imagine just as if you were standing at your door inviting friends into the room, the home, the space that you're in. Imagine welcoming the breath in with that kind of, oh, come in. We don't tug it in. We make space, we invite it in. And also when it's time to go, we don't hold it back. We don't push it out. Let it flow. So the whole of this being is aligned with a sense of welcoming. Again, it can be helpful to do this with the 3 and have a break, have a pause, just as we might pause between guests. Yeah. And when we're ready again, we're really attentive and we come in again. Similarly with the sounds, doing a sense of a wide awareness around you. Welcome, whatever sound. to arise. And if we notice there's some sounds or some sensations which are hard to bear, we'll come back around to that. But for now, just having a few minutes playing around. How much welcoming is possible? How much is beneficial? Whenever you need to, might need a reminder, establishing the feeling of welcoming. Could be that we feel that the heart is open a little bit more than usual, a little bit more space. Might be a resting back or a leaning forwards that gives that resonance. I'm going to suggest that we, in a moment, please don't rush into this. I want to say a few things. In a moment, we're going to draw the attention towards something that's a little bit unpleasant. And I really mean that little bit. Is there something that's a bit of an irritation? It could be an itch, something we want to scratch, a little bit of fidgeting we want to do, swallowing, whatever else it is that's we're doing it because it's seemingly unpleasant. And we very quickly want to wipe it out of existence because it's unpleasant. Could be a sense of a bit tight, a bit blocked somewhere in the body. It could be a sound that isn't quite the right pitch or isn't coming at the right time. or the right volume. And we're just seeing if we practice tolerance. What does that do? So again, don't go necessarily, I would encourage you not to go yet to the most chronic of pains. And maybe it's easier to work in a field like the body or the sounds rather than coming to the emotions, which will obviously have a story, stronger story there that may sweep us too quickly. We won't get to see the impact of how we meet things. It's not that we can't meet those things, and I'm sure you would be wonderfully skillful with it. But here it's like an experiment where we start with just a little dose of this and a reasonably big dose of welcoming. So say we find somewhere in the body that feels a little hard to be with. You can notice an instinct to, well, either not connect or connect to get rid of. And instead of going straight towards it, actually, let's explore its edges. How far out do you need to come before it begins to become less and less unpleasant, neither pleasant nor unpleasant, somewhere in between that, coming out? And if you need to have more space than the body can have, if we're in the body space, that's fine. Yeah, we take up some more awareness space. It doesn't have to be that the sensation is located in the body. We come out to there, and with that wider sense, bathing it in kindness. May you be allowed. May you feel allowed, cared for, met with ease. You can use these phrases if they resonate for you. Allowed. This is allowed. However it is, it's cared for. And wished ease, wish to be free. You may notice that actually that starts to shape this experience, and it feels easier to come a little closer. May even change the valence of the experience from unpleasant to actually it's just quite nice to care. Quite enjoyable to wish ease. For in wishing ease, there is ease, certain ease, and easing. And maybe we're in an area now where it does feel distinctly unpleasant or hard to bear, hard to be with. And practicing again, you're allowed. You're allowed to be this way. You're cared for. Wish you ease, bubbling sensations, whatever the sense of pressure or warmth or vibration in the body, in the sounds, in the awareness. And there's no rush to get to the center of this apparent sensation. Just work at the level where it feels workable, where we can contribute. That's what matters. If you need more of an anchor, you can use the breath here. Breathe into, breathe out with allowing, caring, easing. Breathe through. Breathe around. And as before, you can always rest back, take a break. Anytime you want, you can return to the other kinds of practicing. But if this is interesting, if it's interesting enough to hold the attention, we can do this. If the sensation disappears completely, which can happen, apparently unpleasant, gone, just evaporated or went too subtle for the attention right now, we can rest with that disappearance, or we can choose another sensation, another vibration in the present experience. And we're not doing this to zap them away, we're doing this to understand how much allowing, how much caring, how much wishes of ease we can bring to all kinds of experience. Noticing what the attention is drawn towards now, and if there's a sense of allowing for that, caring that the mind has brought this to attention. A sense of ease might be the ease of letting that go. Could be the ease of recognizing there's a body and a breath, even in this moment. There are sounds. We can choose what we pay attention to, and we can choose how we pay attention to that. So I wonder if there's anywhere in the body, anywhere in the sounds that's actually okay, nice to be with, maybe even pleasant. Some little areas of the body that don't call a lot of attention, or maybe they're already feeling really good. Palms of the hands. I often find the little finger is doing all right. Insides of the elbows can feel nice when they're not hurting. The earlobes, quite an interesting world of sensations in the earlobes if you can get close enough. Bottom of the chin, the curve of a smile. And the sounds, maybe the quieter sounds. Maybe you have bird songs, or the humming of heating, of roads, that there's a world out there. And what if we also welcome this with an open palm of attention, not grabbing on, letting through, allowing, caring, appreciating, maybe welcomed, enjoyed, appreciated, and let through. Remembering things are always a lot more dynamic when you get closer, so there's quite a world going on there, letting it come alive. The subtly pleasant can be slippy for us. It's not an area we're well trained, well experienced in. can be a learning, a humility to come back again. Explore if the resting back or the leaning in is what's needed. It can really be a microscopic adjustment. We need to soften the face or find more alignment. For the last few minutes, just feeling what it is, the gratefulness of this, to be able to meet our experience creatively, beneficially. Any well-being that we feel. What would it be like to radiate that out into the world generously? May those who need this so much, if it's possible, receive the benefits of my practice. May our practice together contribute to more wisdom and kindness, and more of that beautiful intention you feel willing to awaken in your being. And if you're enjoying yourself, feel free to continue, but we'll also begin to transition to a period where any reflections you'd like to bring, any questions and clarifications that feel helpful, you're very welcome to put those in the chat. It can be helpful if we capitalize, actually capital letters for the question, for the reflection, just helps me have a sense what's just a comment to the community and what's more something directed to me that you'd like a response to, or also to everyone, of course. Yeah, it's really welcome to put those into the chat if it feels helpful. And just to kind of lay it out, I think this is a really key skill for us as meditators, but also as human beings, to be able to be a bit less reactive. When something's unpleasant, if we react on top of that, we're going to make it unpleasant for ourselves, and very likely we're going to make life unpleasant for others. Yeah. It's one of the ways that we contribute, participate. It's one of the ways that things get out of control. The escalated movement towards frustration and fear, and then anger and hatred, more frustration, more fear, more harm. That's the way I see it. And again, we're taking a simple pattern language, a pattern that we can understand, and seeing in what ways we can contribute towards that. Big tasks ahead of us as humanity, to get to a place of peace, equity, fairness, respect. And there's going to be a lot of drives towards moving away in that direction. And for that reason, I'm really grateful that you choose to come to these sessions, you choose to practice in this way. I think this is the movement, or a big part of this movement that we need to walk towards. And so, yeah, really bless you for being here, and deep gratitude to Sangha Life for hosting this. And for the capacity to offer these teachings in this way. And I hope that what I'm sharing is immediately helpful for you and helps you to be able to contribute to the wider situation in the world. As you know, these sessions are freely offered. So if there's ways that you feel empowered and capable of contributing back, if you give a donation to Sangha Live, it'll allow them to continue to offer these freely offered sessions. If you're not able to contribute at the moment, then really feel welcome to receive. And I hope that, you can let that in. It's not always easy to receive. And, I really wish that you feel well supported here. And if there's any way in which we can be of a wider help and support for you, do let us know. I also receive from donations that are given during the week. After the week, actually, they don't come to me. They come to whoever's doing the week at that time. But still feel very invited to donate to Sangha Live and support, whoever's teaching at this time. So if you're watching a recording, this won't come to me, but it will support the Dharma in the world. So still a net positive. Okay, so interesting to hear if there are any questions, reflections, anything else that we want to look into in this way. So I mentioned a few ideas, and maybe just to kind of lay them out again as we move into the latter stages. Experience is what we pay attention to, yeah, and how we bring that attention, yeah, and can be really helpful to understand that is that we participate, we contribute, because attention can be directed to different things. Yeah. If you're in a room, you're in a cafe, you're talking to someone, you notice that actually I can filter out all of this and pay reasonably good attention to someone until it gets too much. Yeah. But like what we pay attention to, it's not just I'm paying attention to them. You're actually filtering through with seeing, you're hearing and all of this. But also, what else are we paying attention to? We could pay attention to that we're having a conversation. Yeah, could pay attention to the body language of this person. We could pay attention in a wider lens. I see them in the context of this situation. I see them in the context of their life. And so what we pay attention to shapes that experience, but also significantly how we pay attention. And that's where we need to be clear about what are my inspirations, what are my aspirations, what are my intentions. And is the way that I'm paying attention to this being, this thing, this sensation, this moment, actually in alignment with that? Or is it actually more feeding reactivity? Is it feeding a sense of story that I tell myself that actually causes me to feel more distant, less connected, less possibilities? And yesterday we were playing with that with, okay, maybe the in-breath is what's needed to kind of elevate, lift up, right? Meditation's not one thing for one thing. If we think, meditation, it's the art of getting yourself calm and accepting things. That's definitely not how the Buddha taught meditation. He would say, what's needed, what here that we're doing is harmful, what here could be here rather, that would be beautiful, beneficial. And are we willing to let go of the pattern language, the pattern behavior that causes harm? And are we willing to elevate, bring into being that which is for the benefit? And if we need more energy, accepting and calming isn't the right response. Yeah. If we need to stand up, we need to speak out, or if we need to brighten, enliven, all of this. Yeah. At times, though, we also do need to rest back, and we have that out breath available for us in those ways. And then the what we were exploring today is like, shall I pay attention to what's unpleasant in ways which will actually dissolve the degrees of unpleasantness? If that's what's here, we want to know that we've got that skill available to us. And when something pleasant comes up, can we not overlook it? Just like, oh yeah, bag it, but actually enjoy it, appreciate it, enliven it. Sometimes we might spread it all the way through the whole being, the whole body. Yeah. And this is the way in which we contribute, participate, and resource ourselves so that we're more and more able and capable of meeting more and more of our experience. Some of that is what we'll touch into tomorrow. I actually want to probably talk about time, but not in an abstract way, but actually in how time also contributes to the experience that we're having. But I think there's a question or a reflection. I can see a question mark in the comment here from Marie. I've been recently more conscious of my reactivity in front of some situations, but it is quite uncomfortable to a point where it irritates me. Any clue? Thanks. So what we were doing around the unpleasant, you'll notice, as a practice, as a training, as an experiment that we're running to understand our experience, if I start working with the soft, with the gentle, with the not so easy to be with, yeah. So within this whole realm of experience, which is the hard to bear degree of things in our experience, can we start to lessen the reactivity to it so that we can actually understand the situation? So it's not that so I said this already, but just keep underlining it. This isn't a way to live your life. This is a way to meet the experience, to understand in what ways we contribute and in what ways we can resource ourselves and in what ways we can then hopefully act skillfully in the world. So the conclusion of the practice isn't never be uncomfortable or never be anything that someone can say, oh, you're quite reactive. There are things to stand up for, there are things to back, and there are things to come forth into the world with real kind of power and dedication. But we don't want to create more harm. We don't want to blame people. We want to define actions, and we want to contribute to the situations that we live in. Okay, so if we know we're going to be uncomfortable in certain situations, and we know that being uncomfortable is going to project outwards as if this person is making me uncomfortable, whereas we also understand I also contribute to this. This situation, some things I'm doing, some things they're doing are contributing to this. Can I do what I can from my side? And can I point out to them in skillful and wholesome ways? Oh, when I hear that, I start to feel more reactive, right? And then we can actually have a conversation about this. It's not on them and it's not on me alone, yeah, but it's a contribution, it's a participation in the experience, and I'm feeling uncomfortable here, yeah. So are there ways that we can support ourselves to be there, clear about what my intention is? I want this person to feel loved, yeah. I want them to feel connected, I want them to feel spacious. If I have an intention for the world, it includes them. Yeah, it includes me. And we kind of move into it that way. But at times, if we're not ready, can we say, look, this isn't working. I need more time. I need to practice more. I need to get better at being able to have these kinds of conversations. Or we're open and we're expressing, it's like, yeah, I'm learning here. And I don't expect I'm going to get it perfect. I'm not going to necessarily get it right, but I'd like to participate in that way. Yeah, and there's a little reflection here. Maybe we'll close with this from Penny. I find the idea of intention quite overwhelming sometimes, feeling too important that I must get it right. And I found your suggestion to simply change posture and see what would suit more accessible and helpful. Thank you. So yeah, thank you, Penny. Our intention comes through us in various ways. How we're talking to ourselves. Yeah, we could talk about that for a long time. The posture that we take, the breathing rhythm that we have, and also what we're paying attention to and how we're paying attention. These are all things that fabricate, that make our experience. The fabric of our experience is made through these things. And they want to be aligned with our intention. And of course, intention is important, but it's something that we just get a sense of, and it's something that we contribute towards. So we don't want to be in control of all of our intentions, yeah, but we want to question, can I understand what my intention, what the direction of travel was there, and can that more and more align with what's helpful? So yeah, it's good not to think it's something I must get right, but it's also good to think it is important. It is important because those intentions direct where the attention goes, and intentions direct how the attention comes in. But we want a sense of playfulness. Yeah, we do want a sense of playfulness with that. Don't want to get too tight. So if you have the time, do come back tomorrow for a bit of an exploration around time. And as I say, it's not going to be, you know, very theoretical or high level stuff, but actually, what am I contributing to? And how might I contribute to more well-being through that as we hasten slowly through this week? So thank you.